Okay, so let's again chop this sucker in half. Let's delete the left hand side there. And we just want to check and make sure that we can extrude this properly with no problems. Okay, you can see something looks a little weird right here. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, that's just from the inset, so I'm just going to move this vert over and back a bit here so it's not on top of each other. Same on this side. Just space those out. Okay, and again, don't worry about the crappy looking mesh here. It probably won't cause any problems right now. We can clean it up later on. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is just ring one of these edges here where we did the inset. Okay, and then control click polygon, turn that into a polygon selection. And we only want this to come out of this side here up to about this point. Okay, we could actually probably do it maybe even at this section here. Let's maybe try that. So I'm just going to hold down Alt and deselect these polygons here. Okay, so we just have those ones selected. And let's right click and unhide all for a sec. Okay, that's going to be far enough to get up into the inside, so that's good. So now what we'll do is turn off polygon, control click the base, hide everything else, then reselect the tank and go back to polygon. Okay, and we'll go into the right view maybe, and zoom in on this, and we're just going to extrude this down so that we can line it up with the edge that we have in there on the other piece. Okay, so let's open up extrude, hit OK to that, and let's bring this down manually. Let's go to the wireframe. Okay, we want it to be pretty tight, but we also want to have a little bit of a reveal there, so I'm just going to leave a small gap at this section here. Okay, so now what we'll do is control click vertice, and we don't really need to move these ones here, we'll just leave these alone. So let's just deselect these ones. Okay, I'm just going to look at this here for a sec. Let's deselect these ones as well. Okay, and we'll just start kind of angling this up by hand as we go along here. Okay, it's going to look a little weird because we have thickness on this. It's going to look like the verts are twisting. I think we have another one down here selected. Yeah, we do. So let's just select everything up to this point here. Alright, so let's just move this up slightly. Okay, I'm just going to move it up like that. Deselect the pair. Okay, make sure when you deselect it, you don't just get this one here, you also get the one that matches it on the inside, which is this one right here. Okay, so get both those. And we'll just keep going up with this kind of matching the curve. Okay, so let's just bring these up. Deselect them. And bring these up. Okay, so up to this point here. So it'll be kind of even. Let me check it out in perspective. Okay, I think that looks pretty even there. Let's bring these ones down slightly so it's a little tighter. Okay, this one here is just the inside one, so don't worry if that looks a little uneven there. You won't see it from the outside. Okay, so we have a pretty good fit there. Alright, let's turn this off. Hide unselected again. And we'll see what we need to do here to support this shape. Okay, so what we'll do first is run a couple of loops around this by selecting these verts here, or this edge here, and looping it, or rigging it, sorry. And again, we'll just do the same process. We'll connect it up with one segment. Let's make planar on Y, whoops, Z, sorry. And we'll just pull that right up. Okay, and don't worry about how tight it is there, we just want to pay attention to this corner right here. Bring that up a little bit more. Okay, and again, we'll select the edge underneath it, bring it, connect that up, one segment, and turn our edge constraint, and just slam that down into the bottom edge, and then bring it up a bit, like so. Okay, and we have support going that way, so what we need to do is add some along the bottom, which you should be able to do with just a couple loops by bringing this edge here. Okay, so that should continue all the way around the outside, right to the center here, and to the center here. And so for that, we'll just do a connect. with 2 segments, no pinch, no slide, so they're right in the center. Okay. And let's just turn on the smoothing here so we can see what that looks like. Alright, that's good. Let's delete the turbo smooth again. And I think we'll just maybe put the symmetry back on now. So let's drop that back on there. Make sure it touches up in the center, convert to tapable poly. Okay, and we're not out of the woods yet. There's still quite a bit of stuff to do here. We'll just test smooth it one more time when it's together to see if we have any artifacts. Okay, we're looking pretty good. Okay, so let's delete that. We do have to bend over the top here, and we're going to need to add some more segments to do that. So let's maybe just check this out on the top of here. Okay, we also need to cut a hole over in this section at some point. Let's maybe do the bend first, just so we can even out the segments on the sides. Alright, so let's go to edge here. We're going to grab these edges here, and these edges here on each side. And again, make sure you have ignore back facing turned off. Let's do a connect here, and let's do maybe about 4 segments, no pinch, no slide. We want to kind of even out the edges with the ones we have in the center there. Okay, and you can see these are a little bit farther spaced apart, but that's probably okay. I don't think it's going to give us any problems. Let's hit OK to that. Okay, and just to make sure that the top is even, I'm actually going to loop this edge right here in the center. Control backspace it out, and we'll add another 2 in here. Okay, just so it's a little bit more even in the center. If we leave that as 1, it's going to be crooked at the top, and we don't want that. Okay, so let's add maybe 2 loops here. Okay, and this will allow us to bend that top over. Alright, so what we're going to do here is, before we do that, let's go to edge. We're going to go through the top edges again here. Alright, just these ones here on the inside and outside. And we're going to connect it up with 1 segment. And we'll just push that down just a little bit like that. Okay, and now we don't want to bend this whole thing, we only want to bend the top. So what we can do here is go to vertex, select all the top verts, and with those still selected, we can drop on a bend modifier here. Okay, and that's going to only affect our selection. Alright, so we can crank this up. Let's change it to the x-axis. Okay, and you can see that's only going to influence those verts that we have selected. Alright, we don't want to go crazy on it. Let's maybe take it down a little bit here. Let's take a look at our reference pictures as well. Okay, if I was smart enough to take one off the top. Okay, there you can see it there. It's not super bent. Okay, that's the inside, so that's not going to help us. Just go back to the folder here. And let's maybe check out this one. Okay, so you can see it kind of bends over there, and the lid's kind of bent as well. Alright, so we'll just put that in. Let's do maybe like 20. See if that looks right. Yeah, that's probably about right. Okay, so we'll do 20 on the angle on the x-axis. And one problem you might notice here, that with this vert selection, you can see we actually have a tapering in at the top. Okay, and there's an easy way to fix that rather than messing with limits and everything. We can actually just put an FFD on here. Okay, so you can just find FFDs in here, and we only need to use a 2x2. Okay, so we'll drop that on, drop this down to control points, and we're just going to grab the right side of control points here and move it slightly over until it straightens that out. Okay, so the edges on the side are straight. Do the same thing on the left side. Push that back until it straightens out, like so. Okay, that's going to fix that taper issue. And everything looks all straight and sexy. Alright, so now that we have that done, and you have your angle set, collapse it down to editable poly. Okay, that's going to bake that into the mesh first. Alright, so now what we need to do is actually smooth out the top, or support the top, I should say. Alright, so what we're going to do here is grab one of the top edges, ring it, and again connect it up with 2 segments. No pitch, no slide. Okay, and we want to also add one on the side here as well as on the inside. So let's do a ring and a connect, one segment. And again, put on the edge constraint and pull that edge up. Okay, and we'll just back it off a bit here. Okay, I want that one pretty tight. Okay, so exact same thing on the inside, ring, connect, move it up, bring it down. Okay, so that should be enough support for the top. We do have another thing to model in here, which is a bit of a cutout at the top here. I'm not sure if I have a picture of it. You can kind of see it there. It's kind of like rounded out, cut in, so we'll add that now. Okay, we only want to add that on the inside of the tank, which is this side here. Okay, so what we'll do, okay, and we're going to need to add that right here in the center. Now we don't have enough vertical edges to get the shape we want. Okay, so what we're going to need to do is add a couple of more here. And before we do that, let's actually add one more section right through this section here. Okay, so this connect it up with one segment right in the center. Okay, now we're going to select these ones right here. Let's actually go right to this middle edge, like so. Okay, we don't need to do it on this side, we only want to do it on the inside, so let's deselect these ones. Go back in here and we'll connect that up. Okay, and let's do, and we'll just do one like that. Okay, that'll give us a couple of extra verts here to work with. So let's actually, whoops, not undo it. Let's go back to edge here and control click vertices so we have those verts selected just on the back side there. Okay, now we don't want to adjust these ones, so we're going to deselect these lower ones. We only want these top ones selected here. Okay, we also want these ones and these ones. Okay, so those middle 5 rows. Let me just switch this to the front here so we can actually see something. Okay, we're just going to tape this down by hand, so let's move these down. Okay, and let me just turn off the edge constraint. Bring that down a bit. Deselect the left and right sides and bring it down a little more. Let's actually go a little deeper, maybe like there. Deselect that one and that one. Just bring that middle down just slightly, and then we'll just grab these again and kind of round it out. Okay, like that. Alright, and for these loops here that we added, let's just terminate those quickly. I'm not going to worry about it too much. Let's do this one over to here, this one over to here, and that middle one. I'm just going to leave the middle one for now. Okay, so do the same thing on the inside. That to there, that to there. And let me just ring this. I'm going to add one more center edge here, just in case we need to cut it in half later on. Okay, so just make sure that's on the inside and outside. And we'll connect it up one more time. One segment right in the center. Okay, and we'll just connect the points to continue that loop. And connect these two on the side. Okay. Alright, so now we'll smooth that one more time. See how it looks. Okay, just check it out, make sure you don't have anything weird. Okay, so we're looking pretty good there, everything's holding up quite nice. Let's see what it looks like on the actual model. Okay, everything looks like it's fitting. Now we still need to do some work here. As I mentioned before, we need to cut a hole here for the water to go through, and we also need to cut a hole on each side of the top here for the handle, which we'll do a little bit later.